Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our evening Sabbath class, the 11th of December, 2021. I'm going to pick up from this morning. I'm going to read Enoch 53. It says, I'm asking everybody to like, share, subscribe to Prophets of Awakening channel. Hit the notification button. For those that don't know, this is a non-Messianic channel, and we deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. It's the Old Testament, and the Torah is the 35 books of the Old Testament. So I want to say shalom and welcome to everybody to Prophets of Awakening. And we're going to do our moment of silence, prayer, and song, and then do a little current events. Okay? Oh Lord, we thank you for your great mercy and for your great power and wisdom. And we tarry waiting for your powerful deliverance of your people Israel. Oh Lord, you have given us insight into the scriptures of our forefathers. You, oh Lord, has directed us to who you are and your role in the goings on of heaven and earth. And we come at the end of the Sabbath day, doubtless that you would appear and that you would gather your nation from among these wicked Gentiles. Oh Lord, you spoke through your prophet Isaiah and said that you would help Abraham's seed in these latter days. And you are doing that, oh Lord, as of this day. You said, oh Lord, that you would remove the darkness from around us. Tarry not, oh Lord. Latter days are here, and we are waiting and watching for you. Peace be unto you. Okay. Do a song right quick. I'm doing the Psalms 5. It's a prayer for protection. It's a Psalm of David. Give ear to me, to my words, O Lord. Consider my meditation. Hearken unto the voice of my cry, my King and my God. For unto thee will I pray. My voice shall thou hear in the morning, O Lord. In the morning will I direct my prayers unto thee, and will look up. For thou art not a God that have pleasure in wickedness, neither shall evil dwell with thee. The foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. Thou shalt destroy them that speak deceit. The Lord will abhor the bloody and deceitful man. But as for me, I will come into thy house in the multitude of thy mercy, and in thy fear will I worship toward thy holy temple. Lead me, O Lord, in the righteousness because of mine enemies. Make thy way straight before my face. For there is no faithfulness in their mouth. Their inward part is very wickedness. Their throat is an open sepulchre. They flatter with their tongue. Destroy them, O God. Let them fall by their own counsel. Cast them out in the multitude of their transgressions, for they have rebelled against thee. But let all those that put their trust in thee rejoice, and let them ever shout for joy, because thou defended them. Let them also that love thy name be joyful in thee. For thou, O Lord, will bless the righteous. With favor wilt thou compass him as with a shield. So that was Psalm 5. Anybody got any comments? Okay. I was looking at let's see what I saw that at. It says verse Psalm 4 says, for thou art not a God that hath pleasure in wickedness, neither shall evil dwell with thee. The foolish shall not stand in thy sight. and thou hatest all the workers of iniquity. Thou shalt destroy them that speak leasingly. The Lord will abhor the bloody and the deceitful man. But as for me, I will come into thy house in the multitude of thy mercy, and in the fear will I worship toward thy holy temple. So what you're looking at is, if you understand what David was killing all them giants. So that's why he had Solomon, he had David to prepare everything for the temple, and but Solomon built it because David was he was a bloody man. He had killed a lot of people. So he said he let David. He had Solomon to build the temple. But notice, David ain't puffed up. He says, 6, thou shalt destroy them that speak leasingly. The Lord will abhor the bloody and the deceitful man. But as for me, I will come into thy house in the multitude of thy mercy, and in thy fear will I worship toward thy holy temple. So he didn't go somewhere in the corner and stick his lip out because he decided that Solomon to build a temple. Okay?
Hey, Ron.
What you got?
Should we have the same characteristics of our God?
Yeah, you sound low.
Okay. Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's a little better.
Shouldn't we have the same characteristics of our God?
Yeah. Exactly. Have extreme humility, not prideful or boastful. Yeah. Is that something? Okay. So we're going to current events. Anybody got the current events? Anything they want to talk about it? Okay. Let me give them this right here. I got a couple. We just edging closer and closer.
America is facing a never-ending supply chain nightmare that only seems to aggravate with each passing week. A couple of days ago, associations representing supply chain workers warned that the whole system is about to fall apart, as its backbone, road transport operators, have massively started to leave the market due to poor working conditions. Months ago, industry insiders warned this could happen, but our leaders didn't take any preventive action, and now things are going from bad to worse. The International Transport Union, IRU, is calling on the U.S. government for support to avoid bankruptcies and to stabilize the entire transport system before it collapses. The Industry Association for Road Transport represents 3.5 million transport companies, 19 million transport workers around the world. In the United States, at least 8 million truck drivers are represented by IRU, and according to the Association's Secretary General Umberto De Pretto, rapid increases in demand, ongoing movement restrictions, driver shortages, and acute fuel price hikes have created a perfect storm that can further aggravate supply chain disruptions in the short and longer term. This week, the IRU issued an emergency call to the U.S. government to urgently address the labor crisis within the supply chain crisis. We need the government to act now to avoid delays and shortages of products through to the end of the year and into 2022, said IRU. Asli Khalik, the president of IRU's Goods Transport Council, also sounded the alarm, disclosing that supply chain disruptions are causing major issues every day in his region. And even though logistics companies are doing their best, the government also need to act now to keep goods moving. Transport workers have kept the supply chains and people moving, despite the neglect by our leaders. They've worked through border closures, an inability to return home, lack of access to healthcare, restrictive movement requirements, and the complete uncertainty born from government ineptitude. Frankly, they've had enough, emphasized Stephen Cotton, General Secretary of the International Transport Workers Federation, ITF. From September up until now, at least 4.4 million supply chain workers, half of them in the transport sector, have already quit their jobs. And millions are threatening to do the same, given that they occupy low-paid positions that require in-person service and exceedingly long work hours. Such an event would have the potential to completely halt this country, warned Iona Marinescu, an associate professor of economics in the School of Social Policy and Practice who studies the labor market. The persistent
Okay. Yeah, so as you can see, now we're at the point where these people, they burn out. They didn't work to death for over a year or so now, so they actually walking out. So that's taking everything to a whole nother level. So you know what that means. Okay. No comments? Yeah, that I was talking this morning about that critical race theory thing. So check this out right here. It's starting to get bad all over. There we go. High school.
Inside of school systems. Administration doing what? Not much. Look at this video.
What do you call Muslims?
Redneck children.
What do you call black people, Emma? What do you call Mexicans? What do you call Asians?
This is in Oregon. Okay? Hundreds of Oregon high school students staged a walkout because not only due to the video, but also because the administration refused to make appropriate remedy for the insanity of racism in the school. Now, let me remind everybody, it's not complicated. Racist children, racist parents. Not complex, okay? All right. Information on the students' names, not released. We would not do that here. In the video, the student appears to have fun while going over all the racial slurs for each racial group, while her friends enable the racist rhetoric. That's what you saw. Let's put up a picture of the walkout. These are called allies. These are called friends. They're not friends of the racist. They're not allies of the racist. These are the young people who will lead this country into a better reality. After the video made the rounds at Tigard High School outside of Portland, students of color and allies joined together and walked out of the school. Staged a protest. Good for them. NBC News interviewed some of these students who expressed their legitimate grievances. I don't believe it, a student said. I don't believe it. I was like, no way. Said Sean Sorkoram, a 17-year-old senior at the high school who was black. You hear someone say the N-word, you hear things here and there, but all of them together in one video. The best word I can use is flabbergasted. Sorko Ram said she immediately recognized the girl in the video. They had passed each other in the school's front office before. While hearing those words come out of her mouth was a shock to the system, she said it was hard to be surprised. Isn't that sad? They have normalized racism inside of the school system. The student literally said, oh, I hear the N-word here and there. Now, I want you to think about this. For everyone who's listening to my show, all right? If you're an adult, you work in a workplace, do you really hear the N-word every day? No. You're not subject to that. But this student is. And the student is saying, well, you know, I hear it. That's fine. Basically, we have started to normalize insanity, to normalize evil, to normalize bigotry, hate, and racism. But these students are stepping up. High school and district officials they say they cannot comment on whether the student is still on campus, but noted that a range of punishments are explored in these situations. For hate speech, though, expulsion is usually not one of them. Racism in the hallways of Tigard High isn't uncommon, said the student who has been called the N-word even in class. So according to the background, this school has a history of racism, all right? So let's get down to it. Friends have been followed home and called slurs in passing, according to the student, and many are too afraid to even say anything about it. What students are reporting are from their personal experience. Principal Brian Bailey said, and I quote, if we are hearing more reports of these situations, it could represent an uptick in hate speech. It may also be influenced by our collective and continued work to encourage students to speak out and report these incidents. Principal. It represents an uptick. You shouldn't have it at all. Kind of told on yourself there, didn't you? According to the superintendent, the bar for actually expelling a student is so high that mere racism, hate speech, they will not get expelled for that. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what the superintendent said. The students are saying nothing is going to happen, and that's exactly what it looks like. Attorney, what are your thoughts on this story?
I feel like it's an example again of how we fail our.
Okay, any comments? Okay. No comments? Okay, let me play this and then we'll go into some Q&A. This is what I was trying to explain this the other day about they're trying to get this rocket to cut off this asteroid, so-called asteroid. Let's look at it.
Shalom Israel, giving honor and praise to the Most High God for the reading and the understanding of His word. And family, first and foremost, let's make sure that I greet you, the royal family, properly by saying this. I want to wish every king, every queen, every prince, and every princess, I want to wish you a wonderful, magnificent Sabbath. And once again, thank you for bringing us in with your brother this week. Family, tonight we are not about any games. None whatsoever. We are going to jump right into business tonight because first and foremost, we got a lot of ground to cover, a lot. And tonight is going to be one of those lessons where it's going to be technical, but not difficult. You see, last week, we discussed the supernatural. And that was nothing more than a prelude into what we are going to talk about tonight. Now, if you loved last week, then this week should make you do backflips. And I'm telling you right now, the greatest thing, the absolute greatest thing has happened, and people don't even know about it. I'm going to show you what it was. Blew my mind. The majority of our people have no idea whatsoever. But I'm going to show you, though. I'm going to show you. So, of course, family, please open your Bibles to the 1611 King James Version Bible with the Apocrypha. And we are going to go to the book of Ecclesiastes, Old Testament, the book of Ecclesiastes in chapter 1. The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 1. And we're going to start at verse 1. I'm going to read this all the way down. The reason why I am doing this is for the purpose that I need to have you gain the understanding about what happens on this planet. Now, Ecclesiastes, first and foremost, this is in regards to King Solomon, okay? Now, we all know, or maybe many of us, let me rephrase that, many of us know, and some of us don't, that Solomon was the wisest man to ever walk this planet. The absolute wisest. And he told us something very, very significant. Something that just goes right over many of our heads. I'm going to read this. Here we go. Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 1. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Talking about Solomon. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher. Vanities of vanities, all is vanity. What profit hath a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun? Now let me stop for a second. Solomon is making a point. He's asking a question. He's driving it home. I'm going to read this one more time. What profit hath a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun? One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. Now, Solomon made a point here. Very, very substantial. Solomon said that our generations will pass away. And I need you to understand that he's talking about generational things here. Our generation. So in other words, there's going to be one generation that's here, and then after that generation, another one is going to come after it. Generation upon generation, but the earth still remains. And you're going to see what he means here in a second. The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down and hasteth to his place where he arose. So now he's letting you know, hold on a second. So generations upon generations, one will come, one will go, but the earth is going to remain here. Nothing's going to change about that. Nothing's going to change about this earth. Now he's speaking in regards to the sun. What takes place every day, hasn't failed once. The sun rises in the east. It's above you, 12 noon, and it sets in the west. Goes under the earth and does it again the next day. Cycle, 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 cycle. I'll read it one more time. The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down and hasteth to the place where he arose. Tell me, this cycle, I need you to pay attention to this cycle, is going to make a point. The wind goeth toward the south, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his circuit. So it's telling you that the sun does the same thing over and over and over every day. Also with the wind does the same thing over and over and over. This circular motion, okay? Verse 7, all the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again. So it's letting you know, again, circular motion. The rivers and everything, they run, they drain, come right back. Run, they drain, come right back. Again, this circular motion. Verse 8, all things are full of labor. Man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. So what is he saying? Now, first and foremost, remember, he told us about these generations earlier, right? But he's letting us know that there are things that happen on this planet over and over and over again, so much that our eyes have seen it all and our ears have heard it all the way from the beginning, past generation after generation. Every last one of these generations have seen the same things over and over and over in this constant life cycle. Verse 9, here we go. The thing that hath been, it is what? It is that which shall be. And that which is done is which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. I'm going to read that again. I messed that up. Admittingly, I messed that up. I need to do it again. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. So what did he say? Again, all the things that have happened in the past are going to happen again. It has happened before, and it has happened again. There is absolutely nothing new under the sun. This microphone, we think that this is a modern invention. It's not. They had microphones all the way back then. They had technology all the way back then. That's a whole other lesson, though, but they have. They have. Didn't Solomon say or not say that there is nothing new under the sun? He said it. Nothing new. Technology has advanced, but it's nothing new. The very same things. Okay? Now, why did I even bother to read that? Because as we get into this here today, you are going to see like, holy crap. I'm telling you, that's what you're going to see. You're going to be like, oh, wow, I can't believe what I'm hearing right now. But trust me when I tell you, it is all real. All of it. So, of course, this is going to be one of those lessons where we are going to bring the word to prove the world. That's what we're going to do. You see, because everything has to come from the scriptures. The scriptures will define everything. Everything. And there is something that happened just last week that the world didn't even pay attention to, that Esau did bring forth. But of course, our people don't want to hear it, don't want to see it, because they're caught up in their own nonsense. They're caught up in their sin, they're caught up in their own stupidity. Let's go. I'm getting ready to show you a video right now, and I need you to pay very, very close attention to everything that is said. So without any further ado, family, let's waste no time. Here we go.
Well, 10 months from now, we should know if NASA's DART mission is a success. Early this morning in California, this happened.
3, 2, 1. And liftoff.
NASA blasted into space's first planetary defense against asteroids. This sci-fi sounding mission has a real purpose: hit an asteroid the size of a football field to deflect it at about 15,000 miles per hour. The goal is to deflect the large asteroid's orbit far away from Earth. And in case you were unaware, NASA does have a planetary defense officer whose job is to locate asteroids in our solar system.
My God. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120.
And that video released earlier this year is of what the government calls an unidentified aerial phenomena, more widely known as a UFO. Now the Defense Department has announced a new UFO task force. Defense and intelligence officials will oversee the Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group. That's a mouthful. It replaces a previous task force that investigated 144 reports of UFOs over the past couple of years. Only one UFO was actually identified.
What did y'all pick up on with that? Let's see if your brains, let's see if your spiritual eyes are actually open. Family, what just happened? What just happened? What was reported last week? What was reported was that there are indeed UFOs that Esau is now admitting. This man just admitted on television. Esau is now pushing forth the truth that there are indeed UFOs, but not just UFOs. Oh, no, 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 no. You see, just from this report alone, UFO is now officially classified as an old term. A UFO stands for unidentified flying object. Now, let me ask you a question. This is where I'm telling you, your spiritual eye really needed to be on. How did they start that off with? They started that report off speaking about asteroids. That the U.S. has now put together this group that is going to identify asteroids. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a serious question, family. Is an asteroid identifiable? Are you able to tell what an asteroid is if someone was to mention it? The answer is yes. So, just going and digging through Esau's lies, that is not an unidentified object. Why? Because it's an asteroid. I know what an asteroid is. So this is what Esau does. This is what they're very, very crafty at doing. They'll go ahead and put something right there at the beginning. They have to mix the lies with the truth. They have no choice. That's what their father taught them to do. Wow. That is what their spirit has been designed to do. They're liars. So they take this story about an asteroid and put it at the beginning, but if you're not paying attention, you won't see the rest of what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what I was talking about. They sent this crew out in this aircraft or whatever you want to call it to deflect this asteroid. And like I was saying, could it be that they gonna deflect it to the wrong toward the Earth instead of away from the Earth, so called? This happened last week. So and that's what I was trying to explain. I was asking about the other day, but you're going to watch the rest of this because he's going to go off to the New Testament. It's they just announced a prophecy. That's the name of Mike Mathis. Any comments? Okay, no comments. So I'm gonna open it up for some Q&A. If anybody got any questions about anything from this morning or whatever. Anybody got any questions or comments?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I know it's always been some controversy about the book of Job, and I know you've mentioned it, and then I heard some other people mentioning about, I guess, the discussion between Satan and the Lord of Hosts.
Right.
About, I'm just saying, what is your view of the book of Job, and why is it so controversial?
Well, when you understand who Japhet is, that's the Satan's descendants, Cain descendants. And then when you think about philosophy is a slap in the face to the Lord of Hosts, to the heaven, to the prophets, everybody, because that's man. When the Most High said at the Tower of Babel that man started operating on the imagination of his own mind. That's what philosophizing is. Philosophy, and we see that Aristotle, Plato, all those Greek philosophers, all them, they enmity against the Most High and the Most High's laws and statutes. They ain't trying to hear it. So when you go and look at all the encounters, like when Abraham encountered the Lord of Hosts, and when Jacob encountered him, all our forefathers encountered these angels, they ain't talking to him like Job talking. Let's look at it. So he says that I'm one of his things about him is when he appears to a man, you see how they body turn inside out. Their body go haywire, and that's the fear. which is normal. They get afraid. Then they have to ask the Most High to get one of these angels or get him. I mean, the Lord of Hosts to one of these angels to touch them and strengthen them because of just his presence, him being there. They flip out. Their body go, their mind go in, inside out. Everything go out, flip out. So let's look at that with that understanding. And so, like I said, like the brother was just saying, Esau, the only reason why he insert things in there, and the reason why he attached it to our book was when we read it, we're gonna interpret it as the truth, as law, and we're gonna start trying to make adjustments according to what we done read, not understanding that Esau inserted this in there. So, that's where being able to rightly divide and discern play a big role. So I'm in Job, and it says, okay, friends. Okay, I'm in chapter 7. It's just examples right here. I'm doing chapter 7. It says, and it is there not an appointed time to man upon the earth? So he in the presence of the Lord of hosts, right? We know what happened to all the other prophets. It said, is there not an appointed time to man upon the earth? Are not his days also like the days of the hireling, as a servant earnestly desires the shadow, and as a hireling looking for his reward of his work? So am I made to possess months of vanity, and wearisome nights are appointed unto me. When I lie down, I say, when shall I arise, and the night be gone? And I am full of tossing and to and fro until the dawning of the day. My flesh is clothed with worms and clouds of dust. My skin is broken and becomes loathsome. My days are swifter than a weaver's shuttle, and are spent without hope. Oh, remember that my life is wind. My eye shall no more see good. The eye of him that hath seen me shall see me no more. Thine eyes are upon me, and I am not. And the clouds is consumed and vanished away, so as he that goeth down to the grave shall come up no more, and he shall return no more to his house, neither shall his place know him anymore. Man, like I said, just from reading that right there, this ain't how the prophets in exchange with these angels. All he's doing right here, what I just read, he complaining. Let's keep going. I want to get something better than that. Okay. I think it's over more so in at the end of. Say 38. Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, who is this that darkeneth counsel by words without knowledge? See that? That's right there. So he's talking crazy. He says, who is this that darkeneth counsel? So why would he even have the test of fortitude to even approach the Most High like this? So he says, who is this that darkeneth counsel by words without knowledge? Gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee an answer to answer thou me. Wherefore was thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? Declare it if thou can understand. Who have laid the measures thereof if thou know it, or who have stretched out the line upon it, whereupon all the foundations thereof fastened it, or who layeth the corners? So what's happened is, just like a typical white man, he dealing with Yahweh. Now it didn't got to the point where he didn't came at the Most High with so many questions that now the Most High got to come back and explain to him who he is. He don't even have no content. He not even aware of his presence and where he is and who he dealing with. Till they get to the point where the Most High got to come back and say all these things to him. You don't see him talking to the prophets. The prophets ain't coming at the Most High like this. So, but if you go to philosophy and Greek thought and all that, you see, and Esau, you see that. And the thing that when I was reading this, it just did something to my spirit. But what really put the nail in the coffin for me was in Jasher. Job is the one. Then you got to look at where he's from. He tell you where he's from. He's from the land of Oz. That's a city in a region in Edom. And so he the one that advised the Pharaoh to throw the children in the water, the male children. That's where the Pharaoh got the idea from Job. But anyway, so it says 37. At this also, 37:1. At this also my heart trembled and is moved out of its place. Hear attentively the noise of his voice and the sound that goeth out of his mouth. He directed it under the whole heavens, and this lightning unto the ends of the earth. After it, a voice roared, and he turned. Let me get on down. Okay.
I guess my thinking too was it about the difference about it is like when I'm reading even Job 1 and we're talking about the Lord and I was talking to Satan, it seems like um it kind of reminded me of when they had I guess Satan talking to in the New Testament.
Right.
And
Exactly.
it's like nowhere else in the Old Testament does it. It just seems like, so I don't know if that was it because it just, I don't remember reading it anywhere else where it's saying, he asked him what he was doing other than in Genesis when that all happened. But so I
Yeah.
wasn't sure. They were just talking about the angels again. They were talking about how, you know, one felt that, the Lord still can control what angels do, and the other was saying that, you know, Satan wasn't an angel, kind of thing like that. So I was just wondering what the because they always went back to Job on it. So
Right.
like
Right.
something different happened in Job. Okay.
Right. When you read that with with the right insight, you see that it's almost as if when you get like if somebody come on your channel or whatever and they're trying to debate you. That's the way Job. That's what's coming off on in the book of Job. He's in the presence of the Most High and these angels. We know these other angels, all them there, but he's in all out debate and trying to make the Most High prove to him his power and all this stuff. And that ain't how you see it. It don't go off like that with none of these other prophets in the Old Testament. There's something else going on. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else got anything? Any questions or anything? Okay. I'm gonna pick up where I was this morning and then with 53 because I want to shine light on something. Then we exit. I'm in 53. And I was telling you this morning about how the day of the Lord is more than one day of the Lord. The day of the Lord came during the time of when they left Babylon. The day of the Lord came when he came and got them out of Egypt. The day of the Lord came out of when they was in the Moabites had them in captivity. The day of the Lord is just when the Most High comes and visits the nation of Israel, and if they in bondage or in captivity, he delivered them. That's the day of the Lord. So I'm in Enoch chapter 53. It says, and Enoch talking, there mine eyes saw a deep valley with open mouths, and all who dwell on the earth and the sea and the islands shall bring to him gifts and presents and tokens of homage. But that deep valley shall not become full, and their hands commit lawless deeds, and the sinners devour all whom they lawlessly oppress. Yet the sinners shall be destroyed before the face of the Lord of spirits, and they shall be banished from off the face of the earth, perishing forever and ever. So another thing I want you to understand too, when they say sinners in here, it ain't the same sinners that they concocted in the New Testament. Sinners is these heathens and Japhet, these wicked ass people that didn't come from the Most High. That's what he talking. That's what he means when he says sinners. He says 3, and their hands commit lawless deeds, and the sinners devour. See that? Devour all whom they lawlessly oppress. Same way they came and got us from over there in West Coast Africa. That's lawlessness, right? So it says 4. Yet the sinners shall be destroyed before the face of the Lord of spirits, and they shall be banished from the face of the earth. See, this ain't just no regular old sin they talk about. These people here is, like I was saying, invasive species that never should have been here. So he says, yet the sinners shall be destroyed from the face of the earth, from the face of the Lord of spirits, and they shall be banished from off the face of the earth, perishing forever and ever. I looked and I saw all the angels of punishment abiding there and preparing all the instruments of Satan. And I asked the angel of peace who went with me, for whom are they preparing these instruments? And he said unto me, they prepare these for the kings and the mighty of this earth, that they may be destroyed. So these kings and mighty means from Genesis 6. And after this, the righteous and the elect ones shall cause the house of his congregation to appear, and they shall be no more hindered in the name of the Lord of spirits. And these mountains shall not stand as the earth before its righteous, but the hills shall be as a fountain of water. And in that day shall the righteous have rest from the oppressed sinner. So that's what we are right today. We're being hindered. They didn't take away our knowledge to the point now where we awaken. We just want to go home and get away from these folks. So right now we being hindered. There ain't nothing new under the sun, like the brother just said. The situation we in now, we being hindered. Okay, chapter 54. And I looked and I turned to another part of the earth, and I saw there a deep valley with burning fire. They brought the kings and the mighty men and began to cast them into the deep valley. Right. So watch this. This tied to transatlantic slave trade. The reason why it was so horrendous. 3. And there mine eyes saw how they made these instruments of iron chains, right? Ain't that what they put on us? Iron chains of innumerable measure. And I asked the angel of peace who went with me, saying, for whom are these chains being prepared? And he said unto me, these are being prepared for, look at this, some got a trigger in your mind now. So he said unto me, these are being prepared for the host of Aziel. So ain't Aziel already bound? Hello? Is Aziel already bound?
Yes, he is.
So look at this. I read all that this morning and today for this right here. So he says, and he said unto me, these are being prepared for the host of Aziel, so that they may take them, cast them into the abyss of the complete condemnation, and they shall cover their jaws with rough stones of the Lord of spirits commanded. Here we go. 6. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Phinel shall take hold of them on that great day. This already happened. Come on. See, and they said, and they shall cast them into the burning furnace, and the Lord of spirits may take vengeance on them of their unrighteousness, and in becoming subject to Satan and leading astray those who dwell on the earth. In those days shall the punishment come from the Lord of spirits, and he will open all the chambers of the waters. Look at that. See that? Here we go. He shall open all the chambers of the water which are above the heavens, and he will open the chambers of the fountains which are in the earth beneath, and all the waters shall join with the waters which are above the heavens, and they shall destroy all who dwell on the earth and those who dwell under the heavens of the earth. That's the flood. So you reading all that and you assuming that that's getting ready to happen. But the brother just said ain't nothing new under the sun. So the same way this getting ready to happen now. We see it right here. All this was already happened. That's why we don't see Satan and none of them. They came down and bound them and throw them in there. All this happened. And he cleansed the earth. He cleansed the earth for all wickedness. Got them off the earth. Started over again and told Noah to put the people on the boat. And cleanse the earth. And it's getting ready to happen again. But he just told us when it happens this next time, it's going to be with fire. See that? So like I said, you can go back and read it. Get you a cup of coffee. Say, and when they have recognized their unrighteousness, which they have wrought on the earth, then by these shall they perish. Then 55. After that, the head of days repented and said, in vain have I destroyed all who dwell on the earth. And he swore by his great name, hence will I not do so to all who dwell on the earth, and I will set a sign in the heavens. That's the rainbow. See that? Now I'm gonna go over here right quick. So you can go back and write and divide that. But anyway, so chapter 60. For the people that don't know, this is a fragment of Noah. I just start reading in 55. This 60 is a fragment of the book of Noah. So it's after that. See that? So Noah and Shem is the ones he left on the earth. He cleansed it of all that wickedness and got rid of it. All the hindrance and oppression. What he get ready to do again. So it says, at this time, he gonna raise up a righteous seed out of Jesse. Okay? So anyway, it says, in the 500th year, in the seventh month, on the 14th day of the month, in the life of Enoch, in a vision I saw how the mighty quaking made the heavens of heavens to shake. So let's look at that right quick, and I'm gonna close out. So he said, so this right before that, right before all this happened, a big old shaking came. 37. Ezekiel 37. Let me get it right quick. Ezekiel 37. That's where they get the big earthquake at when JC was born. JC died. So anyway, it says, let me see if I'm in the right place. Yeah, this is 37. It says, verse 7. Everybody should know this story right here. I'm in verse 7, 37:7. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and I was as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking. See that? And bones came together, bones to his bones. So right before the Most High opened up the abyss, opened up all this water, it was a great shaking. So right before he bring this army up, it's a great shaking. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Well, anyway, let me read a little more of this, then I'm gonna close out. So he says, 60 says 2, 60 and 2, in the vision I saw a mighty quaking made, and the heavens of heavens to quake, and all the hosts of the Most High and the angels, thousands and tens of thousands were disquieted with a great disquiet. And the head of days sat on the throne of his glory, and the angels and the righteous stood around him, and the great trembling seized me, and fear took hold of me. See, this is what I was talking about Job. This ain't Job. He talking all kind of crap. Ain't nothing. He ain't afraid. He too busy trying to debate the Most High. So he says, and a great trembling seized me, and fear took hold of me, and my loins gave way. So he peed on himself, and dissolved were my reins, and I fell upon my face. And Michael sent another angel from among the holy ones. See that? See, now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. And Michael, not Uriel, said, and Michael sent another angel from among the holy ones, and he raised me up. And when he had raised me up my spirit returned. See that? Ain't none of this happening to Job. For I had not been able to endure the looks of this host, and the commotion and the quaking of heaven. And Michael said unto me, why art thou disquieted with such a vision? Until this day lasted the day of his mercy, and he have been merciful and long suffering. See that? Their Lord and came. Long suffering for those who dwell on earth. That's the pre-Adamian age before Noah, before the flood. Says he endured that. Said, for which the Lord of spirits have prepared for those who worship not the righteous law, and for those who deny the righteous judgment, and for those who take his name in vain, that day is prepared. For the elect a covenant, but for the sinners an inquisition. And when the punishment of the Lord of spirits shall rest upon them, it shall rest in order, that the punishment of the Lord of spirits may not come in vain. It shall slay the children with their mothers, and the children with their fathers. Afterwards, the judgment shall take place according to his mercy and his patience. And on that day were two beasts parted, a female beast named Leviathan, and to dwell in the abyss of the ocean, and the other one of the foundations of the water. But the male is named Behathama, who occupied with his beast its breast a waste wilderness named Duodin, to the east of the garden. So we see right here, all that, you would assume all that was getting ready, that was in the future, but all that was happened before the flood. It was an invasive species on the earth that these 200 fallen angels had brought down here, and they brought the earth to the point where the Most High had to bring the flood. And these clowns doing the same thing now after the flood. They're gonna bring it. We already know he coming. Everybody, they fumbling with it, but he gonna come. He gonna do the same thing. And like he said, when I come, that's when all the mercy gonna stop. You can sit around and fumble with his scriptures and do and flip and dip and do all this, but when that day comes, all the mercy stop. You can come up there sideways if you want. It's over. He said that on 3 or 4 different occasions. So that's how that goes. Like the brother said, it's a mad circle. Ain't nothing new under the sun. He raised up Zerubbabel as a signet, and he raised David up as a signet. He raised Moses up as a signet. Ain't nothing new under the sun. You just gotta know what's happening, what's going on, have the right knowledge, right understanding. Okay. With that being said, anybody got any comments or questions before we evacuate? Any comments? Questions? Everybody good? I can't hear you, Lamar.
Oh, all good.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't. I seen where you had got off of mute, but I wasn't hearing nothing. Okay. One minute. Computer acting up, man. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so I'm gonna see everybody. I'm gonna see the men's on Tuesday for the men's line, and see everybody else on Wednesday. Yeah, I hope everybody got something out of this. I'll say shalom. I see everybody. Like I said, see the men on Tuesday night for the men's night. Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Okay.
Shalom, shalom.
Okay.